Nowhere to stay, and I think we might end up
homeless.
Goodness knows where.
So tell me about the station store.
It was founded by Maurice Kinnan in 2016.
So this is the Catalina, and we're just going to see if we can get inside and have a little bit of a look. It's pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look how far back it goes. Coming into Blackhall, and it's a wet day in Blackhall. Probably one of the better signs I've actually seen. If it wasn't raining, we'd get out and have a photo. Blackhall. It looked like one word further out. Caravan park on the right. Oh, it would be nice to be all there together. Oh yes, it's a very full caravan park.
It's packed. Well, we're coming in to Longreach in the rain.
Yes.
We've got nowhere to stay, and I think we might end up
Homeless.
goodness knows where.
Be homeless,
It's
John.
very crowded. Wow, look at that. The Air Museum. We've already booked into the Stockman Hall of Fame and the Qantas Air Museum in a couple of days, and we know that it's pretty packed, it's raining, and we've got nowhere to stay at this minute. So let's hope we find somewhere at the RV park, but that could be chockers too.
We'll let you know how we go.
We will.
This is the Apex Riverside Bush Camp. It's only $5 a night. And when we looked at Wiki, it said there's only water for a few people. But I'll tell you what, I reckon all sites have got water today. Got a nice little waterfall down there, little pond, and it's pretty wet. You don't want to get stuck here. We've had a few days of wet weather, and it's a bit treacherous. Good job. So this is the entry to the Apex Park, and if you're not careful, when it's rained for a couple of days in a row, you get this type of muddy occurrence happening. But if you're careful, you should be pretty right. Here's one of the locals. So, why is it so wet? Because it's raining. Well, it's obvious. Yeah. So lucky we got in before we got too boggy, eh? Oh, hello. You come to say hello. You think we've got some food? You want to come inside? It's a bit drier in here. How you going? Is that your mate over there? See, this is what we do when it's wet. We just look out the window and you guys entertain us. That's nice. So if there's one shop you need to come and see in Longreach, it's the station store. Outfitters, and they've also got the Outback Pioneers building there, which serves some decent meals. So we'll actually go inside and check it out. So tell me about the station store.
It was founded by Maurice Kinnan in 2016.
Yes.
So, and it was in collaboration with the Cop & Co coaches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they all came about due to the drought. It had been a long-standing drought,
yes.
and they realised they needed to diversify in order to be able to keep their station, which is no-go.
Okay.
And so they created the Cobb & Co coach ride,
Right.
and then that evolved into creating the station store.
Oh, right. And you've got a lot of gear here at the station store. You've got a lot of clothing and knick-knack things and lots of hats too. And I believe you've got some interesting stuff out the back as well.
We do. We have a lovely courtyard,
yes.
And an old original stagecoach. The ones that you ride on are original as well,
yes.
but they've just been
certified?
Well, sort of recalibrated so they're a nicer ride, I could say. Yeah, because they're a bumpy old thing.
Oh, good. And how many horses actually pull those?
5.
Oh, 5,
yeah,
okay.
And they're ex-race horses, so they've been rehomed.
So you can go pretty fast?
They do. They gallop them across the Common.
Oh,
the Common is the council land that everyone has access to.
Okay, no?
And it's the only Cobb & Co coach in Australia that has a licence to do that.
Oh, wow. And what if I'm hungry? Where do I go to eat here?
In our restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've got a stone grill.
Oh, wow.
Which is really lovely. It's
oh,
quite
nice.
delicious, actually. Yeah.
Okay, so do people need to book in to go for the rides on the coaches?
Yes, always book in.
Yes.
Because we find in the school holidays, it'll be booked out, so you must book ahead.
Okay, is that online?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much.
That's Outback Pioneers.
Okay, so that's down there. Okay, well, thank you very much. We'll have a bit of a look around the store, and luckily my wife's not here with her credit card. Hey.
You have a field day.
That's right. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
So lots of nicky-nacky things here. Lots of dogs. Sheep. More dogs. Even more dogs. Lots of different outfits here. Lots of cameras. More cameras up there. Now these are all different sorts of bridles by the looks of it. Quite a collection. If you're into ironing, this is where you need to come to have a look at some of the really old-fashioned irons. So these are the Kinnan brothers here, and these guys are just heading off now for their coach ride. You see some going up there. And that lady there is riding shotgun. Oh, there's a dog on the back. There's a dog. This is the outdoor area here, where they have their stone-fired pizza foods, and up here is one of the original Cobb & Co coaches. There it is. Pretty special. Nice place. Qantas Founders Museum, that's it there, that's the original hangar, and museum is actually in there, or hangar's there, and there's the car park over there. That's where they've got about 4 odd planes that you walk through, so it should be a good tour.
I'd like to point out here in the museum here. The first one, of course, is this gorgeous big green plane behind me, the full-size reproduction of an Avro 504K. This one's here because this was the very first aircraft that Qantas ever bought when they started the airline. They'd already flown these aircraft in the war, and that's where they actually, 3 of the 4 founders actually met, was in the 1st Australian Flying Corps. So you can almost say Qantas started in Palestine and North Africa, because that's where 3 of the 4 founders actually met.
So this is pretty cool. This is me flying, or trying to fly. I've got these controls down here where I'm trying to keep the plane level, and it keeps on moving on me. Here's a good little V8 motor. So that's what the Captain Cook Lounge looked like on top of the jumbo jet. Here are the uniforms of the staff through the years. This is the Pratt Whitney Twin Wasp aircraft engine. And then we've got the Pratt Whitney turbine fan engine.
During World War II, they held a very important role for a very short period of a couple of years towards the end of World War II, when the Japanese had expanded and taken over Singapore and that whole archipelago between Australia, Asia and Europe. All communication between Australia and Europe was lost, and so the Europeans couldn't find out, the Allies couldn't find out what was happening in the Pacific, Australia couldn't find out what was happening over in Europe. And the government said, hey, you know, have we got anybody got any ideas on how to reopen communication? And the guys from Qantas had a bit of an idea, and they said, if we can get some Catalinas, we think we can regain communication to Karachi, which was the closest, safest Allied base to Australia at the time. And they said, we think we can get there if we can get some Catalinas. And so they tried with the RAAF, but all of the ones that they were using were quite busy at the time with the recon and rescue missions that were happening in the Asia and Pacific area. But the Americans, who were not in the war yet, Roosevelt sort of had a bit of an idea about, you know what, we really want to help you even though we're not in the war. So they come up with a thing called the Lend-Lease Act. And they said, we're happy to lend you or lease you whatever you need, as long as at the end of the war, you pay it back, give it back, or get rid of it.
So this is the Catalina, and we're just going to see if we can get inside and have a little bit of a look. And this is where all the action happens when they're driving it. And they've got their foot pedals, fire extinguisher, and then you go through, watching my head. And then they've got these little observation windows at the back here where you can actually see where you're going. That's pretty cool. So this is the original Qantas hangar. This is the original Qantas ticket office where people could purchase tickets to fly, and they used this for quite a few years before they outgrew it and built the ticket office next door. So this is the inside of the original Qantas hangar, and some of their original planes. These are some of the original tools they used to use to actually make the planes. You've got your bandsaw, you've got your wood lathe there, and lots of other tools over on the bench. So in December 1934, the Qantas Empire Airway planned to start its first overseas service from Brisbane to Singapore with its brand new aircraft, the Havilland DH-86A. Unfortunately, there was a problem with the tail, and it crashed, and both pilots and 7 passengers died. That's a picture of the plane there, and that's basically what's left of it. Boarding pass, Joe? Let's go.
Done. Come on in. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. All good. You can put it in your pocket now. Thank you. Much appreciated. Welcome aboard. There we go. Quick things about these lovely big planes out here. Each one of the aircraft are here because each one of these aircraft was a very big advancement in commercial aviation, especially for Qantas, as they were going. But a couple of quick things about them before we do get started. First off, thank you very much for helping pay for this new roof that we just had put on in 2020. The idea of how much that's improved the service for Qantas back in 1919 when the Great Race was on. 2 Australians actually won that race, the Smith brothers, Ross and Keith Smith, and they actually got down to Darwin in just 28 days, only about 35 stops along the way. So they won the £10,000, which is really good, but it was the first time anybody had flown under 30 days to get to Australia. Where we are right now is only 60 metres long. This is the pressurised cabin or the tank that we actually are now standing inside of. This is the part of the plane that actually wears out the most, because this section here actually expands and contracts about 4 centimetres during a flight because of different pressurisation that's required at different heights that we're flying at. So it continually expands and contracts throughout the flight. That's why when you look out the window, you have those two panes. One's on the fuselage, one's on the tank, and that's what expands and contracts slightly as we're flying along. There's your slide raft. And there's your air conditioning.
Oh wow.
So that's what it looks like without the...
Cover over it.
Yeah.
It's pretty big, isn't it? Look how far back it goes.
Welcome to business class.
Business class, yep. Business class. Oh yeah, yeah, that's
Look at the business class.
Oh, are they
Still
babes?
have babies.
Oh, babies.
Business class people still have babies. Yes. Everybody loved this engine, even the marketing people like this one. One of the things I did love about it wasn't its beautiful efficiency and everything else, but for the marketing people, they saw a gorgeous 2.2 metre backdrop for all the host sheets to do all those lovely poses that they do to get those promotional shots as they went. Fortunately today we're this much closer to an equal world, and we can get guys to stand inside the engines as well. There's only 3 places in the world that we know of that you can legally stand inside one of these engines. One's in South Africa at a museum down there. One's in southern USA and Georgia, there's a museum there. The other one's just outside Longreach at the Qantas Founders Museum. Gorgeous, there we go. That's right, see all of the flashy bit there. You can see that, they can see, smell like act like you enjoyed it.
How many years you've been doing this?
15 months.
15 months, I'll tell you what, you know a fair bit of information for 15 months.
Well, I've been doing this sort of work for about 40 years.
Okay, and
Yeah.
do you live locally or?
I do now.
Okay.
Yeah, come up from Brisbane. So
Oh, well done. So do you actually like old planes before you actually started doing this, or no?
No, I just love telling tales, talking to people,
Yeah,
telling
yeah.
stories.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
So where are you from originally?
Brisbane.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And before
So-
that, just Brisbane.
Born in Brisbane, spent my primary school in Canada.
Okay.
Came back here, lived in a few places. So yeah.
So were you responsible for all that wet, cold weather we've just had in the last couple of days?
No, that's the Victorians coming up.
That's us.
Yeah. Had to make you feel comfortable.
Good job, mate. Thank you
You're
very
very
much.
welcome.
Well done. So we're just packing up, getting ready to go. We've got a little friend down here. You want to come with us? You want to come and do some OZLAPN with us? Yeah, you woke me up this morning at about 4:30, and now you're tired and we're up. That's not very good.